We're going to look at pricking out some forestry seedlings into side slot containers to minimize distortion of roots. So this is the side slot. The bottom and the sides have a whole lot of cavities for the roots to air prune. I've got about 56 in here. This is the potting mix. This is composted bark fines. So it's got a bit of chunky stuff in it. The most important thing with the potting mix is to get the moisture content just right. And I'll show you why in a minute. Now, we want to get it down into the pots a little bit. Just shuffle it in. And then I'm going to get it into the bottom of the pots, just so that the compression of the potting mix is even from the top to the bottom, so that later on when you deplug the trees out of these little plastic pots, the potting mix doesn't fall off the roots because it's packed in well enough. So it doesn't need to be too much. It's just packing it in the right amount. It's important. Mostly into the bottoms. And then I'm just going to give it a little bit of a gentle sort of shuffle in again to get it even throughout the tray. Get the surplus off. I'm not going to pack it in, but I'm going to pat it down. This just makes it easier for me to prick out. Now there's no fertilizer in this potting mix because it's just bark fines, and it's a lot cheaper to buy than potting mix with fertilizer in it. And what I'll be doing later is top dressing these seedlings and growing them via top dressing the fertilizer. So that's all patted down. These seedlings are all ready to go. They've come up about a day or two ago. Some of them are just coming up in the last day. Some have been up for a day or so. Can't leave them any longer because they just come out and they've only got a little root on them, which is really important. Now these seeds were sown into this tray and a thin layer of seed mix went over the top of them, and it wasn't packed down, it was just watered in. And this way the seedlings are able to just be pulled out because there's no packing of this mix here. So we'll get some seedlings. Here they are, and away we go. What I'll do is I'm going to make a hole in each of these pots, and I know where they are, and I'm going to do every second one. So that's every second one. And the reason why is this hole that I'm making has to be made so that the sides don't fall in, and that's really important. So this is why the potting mix has to be just at the right moisture level. If it's too dry, the sides of those holes will fall in. If it's too wet, what happens is when you put the seedling down into the hole, it will stick to the sides. It's like a magnet when either the seedling is too wet or the potting mix is too wet. So this is just right. Those seedlings go down there nice and easily. The worst thing that you can do is if it sticks to the sides, you get a J root. So that is what you get, is a J root. You don't want those because then you've got distortion and your trees will blow over later. So getting all this right, I've done every second hole because if I did every hole, I'll end up disturbing the next one, and you can't see down those holes. You don't know if your seedling's going to pop down there nicely, and you don't want distortion. So I'm just going to do every second one. nice and efficient. It's all about speed. I'm pressing 4 sides down, making some more. Make these holes really carefully so that the mix doesn't fall back down in them. So you know that those holes are just right for popping the little seedling in. Little tiny seedlings, in they go. Super efficient, super fast. Press all 4 sides. And in they go. With the potting mix put in just right, when you press them down, you've still almost got it full. And that's the trick. If there's not enough potting mix in there, the level will be down. You don't really want that. And too high, and you just can't see where your pot is to make the holes. Generally these seedlings don't break when I pull them out. If they break and there's not enough root, then I throw them away, I discard them. If they break and there is a bit of root left, I still put them in. They tend to survive just fine. With forestry, it's all about efficiency in the nursery, and you want these to go in as fast as you can. So if they're just the right age, they go in fast. If you leave them too long, the roots get too long. That's marginal, that'll still go in. And you see that where that has hit the bottom, if you keep going, it flexes. So see that happening? That's hit the sides. You don't want it to be distorted. Main thing is that this operation has to be fast and efficient as possible. So the seedlings need to pull out easily. That one's broken. That one's broken. You can handle them with your hands by the root, but you want to be careful. I always prefer holding them by the leaves, and if necessary I just gently hold it by the stem without pressing too hard, because you don't want to bruise either the stem or the roots when you're pricking out. So you're better off to handle them by the leaves. What you can do is just, if you hold them this way, they go straight down into that hole. Potting mix has got to be just right moisture level in the potting mix, and the whole thing goes easily. The right age of the seedlings, and everything goes well and smoothly. So if you're in production, you tend to stagger the sowings of your seed. You don't want all your seeds coming up at once. Otherwise, you're not going to keep up with them. And that's it. Sometimes if they're too distorted, you throw the seedling away. And that's it. I'll just keep going with this. Thank you very much for watching.